In this episode of Christopher Reads the Help Files, I'll be reading the sections workflow. Refer to this section for high-level descriptions of tasks you might perform when working with sections in Autodesk Civil 3D. The first workflow is to create sections. Before you create sample lines and sections, you must have existing data, including elevation, surface data, as well as a horizontal alignment. So you don't really need this. You also need the ensure that the drawing contains the required surface. If necessary, create or add the surfaces. Ensure that the drawing contains the necessary alignment. Alignment properties and labels do not affect the sections. Locate the sections. Decide where along the alignment you want the sections and what ground distance they should cover. Create sample lines. Use appropriate sources, styles, left and right swath widths across of the alignment. Left and right swath widths across the alignment. So it looks like cross doesn't, or maybe it does. I don't think it does. If required, edit the sample lines. To resample from a different set of surfaces, use the sample line group properties dialog box. Create multiple section views. Create views to display and annotate the sections and offsets for analysis purposes. Use the production option and select a drawing template if you want to create section sheets. Create section sheets for plotting. Use the plan production tools to create section sheets for plotting. So the sample line group properties dialog box, I'm not quite sure if it is listed there. So I'm just going to open up an existing drawing. And I'm going to do that in the templates folder for Autodesk 2021 C3D help civil tutorials drawings, and then I'm going to look for a cross-section drawing down near the bottom. So this one already has the section views. I'll go ahead and open it read-only. And if we go into the sample line group properties, so I can get there by selecting a sample line and going to group properties. And so we have sample lines, we have sections, and really it's the sample more sources, right? But the sample more sources is already up here. So it really should be the sample more sources dialog box. And so I'll go back to the help file, move this over here. And then this was because they split it out. So I guess it won't give me enough room, but that's all right. I think it gives a little bit of the feel of where it should be. But otherwise, it looks okay, I guess. And then the second workflow is to set up labels and bands for sections. Use this information to determine a standard, consistent format for the sections in a drawing. Standard format and content for sections is often required to comply with requirements or to make it easier to compare several sections. These standards are created by means of styles and settings for sample lines, sections, section views, labels, and bands. Use the following workflow to help you evaluate existing styles and settings and decide whether anything should be changed. Create the sample lines and sections. Create sample lines and the sections from an existing alignment. Create the section views. Create the section views to display the sections. Review the sample line styles. Review or modify the standards for the sample lines. Review the section labels. Review and modify the standards for the automatic labels for the sample lines in graphed section. Review the section styles. Review and modify the standards for the section. Review the section view styles. Review and modify standards for the section view titles, axis, annotation, grid, and ticks. Add section view labels. Place a few section view labels for offset, elevation, and grade. Add section view bands. Add bands above or below the section grid for the section data. Review or modify the standards for bands above or below the section view grid. So in this one, I think they're missing some label styles. So if we go to the annotate and we go to section view, and we have grade, offset, elevation, and projection. So projection is missing. And that's from the section view labels. And then, I don't know, the section, the order, breaks the order used earlier in the help, in that the setup is done first and then the object creation. This does it backwards. And so really this, to set up labels and bands for sections, should be the one above it. And then let's see if, oops, so I'll go ahead and submit feedback. And so if we look up set up, right, so it looks like setup and set up with a space is used inconsistently in the help files, because you can see that here setup is used a lot. And if we look up set with the space, it's used also as well. So it's kind of inconsistent. And so it kind of makes it, I don't know, I guess it's right, but it's just kind of weird. There's no back button. Where'd my back button go? Kind of sucks that it's there sometimes and not other times. And so let's see if I can, they've fixed it. So I can't provide more feedback. But this is the sections workflow for Christopher reads the help files.